Greetings, YouTube. The doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary for Marvel Contest of Champions. And today we are going back to the old school and we're going to talk about how to get infinite streaks in the arenas. So in this first video, we are going to be talking about the infinite streak in the Summoner's Trials, which is a basic part of Marvel Contest of Champions. You need to be able to do this so that you can get units and you can get battle chips to get more units out of this so you can sustain your gameplay as a beginning player. So we're going to go over all this. So lots to talk about, lots to do. Don't go anywhere and stay tuned. All right, before we begin, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you like this video. Hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or a comment. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. All right, I have not come in here yet, but you can see here it says enter. I have this little express mode here. We're going to uncheck that so we can see points and how much they're worth and where do we start. Each one of these arenas is broken down into groups of win streaks. So you can see up here at the top, right here, it says win streak 0, multiplier times 1, my current points, and then points to get to the next milestone. So let's talk about milestones. If you want to get units, you will get them out of your milestones. So we need to get 17,000 points in order to get 13 units, 750 battle chips, 5,000 gold, and 1,000 premium hero crystals. Now, in the crystal section, if we go all the way down here, and we're going to do, this is just some basic stuff right now. We've got 3 different types of crystals. We've got arena crystals, we've got uncollected arena crystals, and we've got throne breaker. I always get the arena crystals, and it'll show you the points. It is 2,000 battle chips to get 1 crystal. And you have a chance of getting units out of here. So it's 15% chance to get units. You're pretty much going to get units out of crystals. Out of about 50 of these arena crystals, I get on average 200 units. So you can get a lot of units out of here. So that's what you get out of the arena and why you want to do arena. Because you are going to get units. There's 13 units in each one of these here. If you go all the way down, it's 13 in every, well, it goes up to 14. And there's 20 different milestones. So essentially there are, it looks like about 200 some units in here. And then we're going to get battle chips and we're going to get Grandmaster crystals or premium hero crystals and arena boost crystals. So these are also, they give you multipliers on your points. So that's the basics of the Summoner's Trial. Now, like I said, these are done, and to get the infinite streak, these are done in groups of multipliers. And we are going to start with 3 stars. So you do need to have a full roster of 3 stars to do this. And essentially, you want to get to the point where you are going to be at the ×3 multiplier, which is a win streak of 5. So it kind of goes in like half a point clicks. And I am going to start all the way down here at rank 2, 3 stars. So that would be right around, and these guys that are all like 1,000s, they're all rank 1s. It would be right where they change from about a 1,000 to about a 1,400. So we would start here with like Void, Domino, and Crossbones. So let's go ahead and do that fight. And what we can do is we can look and see how many points we're getting for a ×1. And it'll give us all the stats. If you have this pressed, then you won't be able to see any of the statistics. But if you have it unpressed, you can see it. And we don't want to use any arena boosts at this point because we're only getting a ×1 multiplier. So let's go ahead and do this match. So with that first fight, we got 3,985 points out of 17,000 for the first milestone. So each one was worth about 1,300 points. And we're going to keep going to win streak. So the first movement in this is to get to win streak number 5. And we're going to use these rank 2 3-stars. So you are going to need 15 of these rank 2 3-stars to get all the way there. So let me get to that times 3 multiplier win streak 5, and then we'll look and see how many points I have at that point. All right, so I want to point one thing out. We're at about multiplier 2.5. We're almost through our 5 win streak. And what I want to show you is that the PI, the power index or the power indices of all of these champions that are our opponents will gradually go up. So we started out and they were around 500 or 600s. And now they're at 1200s. And these will progressively go up as we go through this. So it's important to understand how this point progression goes, because eventually, if you don't follow a particular pattern, you will get a death match, which will pit your champions up against opponents who are very difficult, and they will be very much higher power index than yours. And you'll also notice that I have an opponent, so it's pulling data out of somebody's account for me to go up against. Eventually, this will change, and it'll say like Kang's team or Thanos' team, and that's usually a signal that you're getting ready to change in this power index. So let's continue. Okay, we are at the times 3 multiplier. So you see I've got a win streak of 5, and I'm at a times 3 multiplier, and I used 15 different rank 2 3-stars to get me to that multiplier. So now we're going to hit continue, and you can see here that we've got 40,000 points currently. So we've got the first milestone, and we are going to have the second milestone there. So we're going to claim both of those. We haven't hit the third milestone yet. We're going to hit next series. And now we're going to switch things up a bit. So I want to now go to using my rank 4 3-stars. And we're going to go from win streak 5 to win streak 9. So we're going to only use rank 4 3-stars to get from this, to go from 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8, and 8 to 9. We are going to use boosts on this one as well. That's really important to do that, because this is where you're getting the most points at this point. Because if I didn't use boosts on these guys, I wouldn't get anything. And you get a ton of 3-star arena boosts. Now, I don't want to use my top ones, so I'm going to go all the way down here. I'm just going to pick Nick Fury. I'm going to pick Gamora. And I'm going to pick Namor. And let's go ahead and do that fight. But before we do that, we need to click on each one. And we're going to go to use item. And here's where the boosts are. And I'm going to put, if I have a times 3, I'm going to go ahead and use it. And we're going to do that. So I've got a bunch of these times 3s. And I will show you how many points we get for this when this fight is over with. So let's go ahead and hit find match. And then you'll see, so we've got 3 choices here, and I always just take the first one. It doesn't matter what you do. They're all easy. And then these are our opponents, and they are still, some of them are equal, and some of them are less. So we've got, let's change these around a little bit. Okay, there we go. So the War Machine on here is about equal to the power index of all of my champs. And then the Black Panther and the Rhino are more or less half. That is going to change as we progress from win streak 5 to win streak 9. And the PI of these champions is going to increase pretty dramatically. And then it's going to hit a maximum. So let's go ahead and do this fight. And then we will come back and look at the points that we earned from this particular fight. Okay, so you could see from the totals here, we went from 40,000 to 102,000 points. And from the picture here, we're getting about 20,000 points per rank 4. So these are maxed out 3-stars. with a 3 times boost on them. And that's why it's important to do that. So all of a sudden, we did 5 fights, we got to 40,000 points, and then we did 1 fight, and we just added 60,000 points all of a sudden. So that is a pretty good, efficient way of getting through all of this. And now we're on win streak 7. So you, again, as we progress through here, and we're going to do this one more time. So we're going to go ahead and ask for help on these guys here. And sometimes the game takes a little while to register these. Okay. And again, we're not going to use the best ones. We're going to go here. I think we'll use Ultron. And I think we'll use Cyclops. And we're going to put a boost on. And there's a ×3. There's a ×3. And there's a ×3. Now, let's find our match. And you're going to see. So they only show you one champ. They only show one champ. That's that one right there. And that one is a 2878, which is more or less equal to what we have. So let's do that. And when we look at our opponents here, now the power indices went up on all of them. Let's switch this around here. So we're going to go here and we're going to go here. Okay, so now you can see that. And now they're not quite a half. They're not quite 50%. They're roughly about 2/3 of the PI. So let's go ahead and go through this, and then we'll look at the points. The points at this point are going to be the same. They're going to be about 20,000 per, with the bonus battle chips and the gold that we're getting. So let's go ahead and do this fight, and then we'll come back and we'll go through win streaks 5 through 9, and then we'll talk about what happens at win streak 9. All right, and as you can see on this picture here, we've gotten to win streak 9, and you can see our opponents on here are all 4 stars. They're not 3 stars, they're 4 stars, and you can see that they're more or less equal to the PI of the champions that we brought into this fight. And some of these are like rank 2s, some of them are rank 3s. You know, they're the lower kind of end of the 4 stars. Some of them are awake and some of them are not. As we go up in win streak, we are going to get higher ranking 4 stars that we're going to be going against. And at some point, they are going to be equal or more to our 3 stars. So we don't want to hit that death match. Now, this arena has 2, 3, and 4 stars in it, and it will max out. And this is what you have to remember about the infinite streak. These arenas will max out with the top tier PI champions in the highest star ranking, which means that we need to look at the top ranked 4 stars that could possibly pop up in here, like a Doom. Dr. Doom is probably one of the highest PI champions that there are, or like a Silver Surfer. And you can see that we're at 299,000 points. We are going to get, we're almost at another milestone. So now we're going to switch. Let's get some help on these guys. Now we're going to switch over to 4 stars, because I said we're going to do these in groups. So the first group was win streaks 0 through 5. The second group was win streak 5 through 9, which we're at right now. And now we're basically just going to go with win streak 9 to win streak 20. And then once we hit 20, we're going to continue going through all of our 4 stars that are max rank. So we're going to start with rank 5 4 stars. That's why I say you have to have a pretty busted out roster for all of these. But that also, once we get past win streak 20, that is also going to allow us to come back to these 3 stars that are all maxed out. Don't ever use non-maxed out champions. We're going to come back to these guys, and we'll be able to use these guys. There's a reason for that. And the reason for that is the arena boosts for 3 stars are much more common than they are for 4 stars. And we can actually get more points out of maxed out 3 stars than we can out of maxed out 4 stars, because the boosts are not as much. So let's go to this. So here are my 3 stars, or here are my 4 stars, and here are my maxed out 4 stars. So I've got a Stealth Spidey at a PI of 8,500. I've got a Dr. Doom at 8,200, and I've got a Red Guardian at 8,100. So you can expect that if you go too much farther with 3 stars, past win streak 9. Usually it's going to happen around win streak 12, 13, or 14. You're going to trigger this. These guys are going to pop up. But if I go to my maxed out 4 stars, then if I get maxed out 4 stars as opponents, it won't be so bad. So let's go ahead and put these guys out. And the boosts for 4 stars are not as common as 3 stars. So you actually will not be using as many boosts. So we're going to go ahead and see, I've got a 1.3, I've got a 1.3 here, and I've got a 1.3. There are some 2s that are here, and I'm going to show you how much these guys are worth afterwards. So remember, the maxed out 3 stars with the ×3 boost were about 20,000 points apiece, about 60,000 points for 1 round of fights. These guys are going to be more or less equivalent to that. So it's all about time and points as well, because this is a 4.4 million arena. And you can see I'm only at 300,000. This arena takes a while to go through. It is worth the most units, and it is worth the most battle chips, which equals more units. And that's the important thing, because units are what you use when you are beginning this game out to do anything that you need to do. All right, so let's go through this fight, and then we'll look at the points that we're going to get on the back end with a ×1.3 multiplier for these guys. So this is still our first fight. We haven't even started it yet, but I do want to point out the power indices of the opponents that we're getting here. So we've got 3 rank 5, level 50 4 stars. None of them are awakened, and they're probably like SIG 1s versus my rank 5, level 50 4 stars who are all awakened and all max SIG. So they're SIG 200s. And so the power indices of my champions here is more than 2 times these guys. And I haven't switched these around yet, so it's going to get even worse when I do that. So now I've got some advantage, and it's way more. Now it's like 3 times as much. This number is going to change quite a bit as I approach 20. And when we get to around 13, 14, or 15, it's really going to go up, and I'm going to show you what that means. All right, this is our first fight at a multiplier of 3 with 3 maxed out 4 stars that all had boosts of 1.3 on them, and you can see they're worth about 17,000 points apiece. 51,000 total, not as much as those maxed out 3 stars are with the ×3 multiplier. So, but you want to be careful. You do want to go to your maxed out 4 stars just until you get to like win streak 20, because eventually we're going to trigger very high PI 4 stars that would be very hard for 3 stars to take out. So we'll show that when we get to that. All right, one thing I do want to point out here, we're at win streak 11 right now, and here is this Kang's team. So this is not an actual opponent's team. This is a generic team that Kabam has put together that will show up in the middle of these infinite streaks. And they're like rank 4, rank 5, 4 stars. They're not equal to my guys. Again, they're like a third of the PI of my champions that I'm going to be using in this fight. But eventually, we are going to hit a number in our win streak where this is going to change back to an actual opponent, like an actual account, and these numbers will go up significantly. All right, we are at win streak number 15, and all of a sudden something has changed. We have a opponent, David Hoyta, summoner level 43, and so this has changed from Thanos' team and Kang's team over to this particular player account. And let's look at the PI of these champions compared to mine, and you're going to see that they're almost the same. So let's switch this around. We really can't do anything about that. We're at disadvantage, but you can see here that this Ronin is a 6591. My Baron Zemo is a 7894. So now we're starting to get opponents whose PIs are much higher, not quite as high as the ones that I have, but these guys are rank 5 4 stars. They are full level. They're probably very high SIG at this point. Like this one is fairly high, but not as high, and it's not awakened. So these guys are probably fairly high. And when I go into win streak number 16, you're going to see that these numbers are going to go up even more. Now, if you were using maxed out 3 stars against these or any other 4-star other than maxed out 4 stars, because these are rank 5, level 50, SIG 200, 4 stars, you might have some trouble with this fight. So just keep that in mind. All right, here we are at win streak number 19. We've got a player opponent. They're all 4-star, rank 5, level 50s. They're all awakened, and they're all pretty high SIG. And you can see that they're not quite equal to my maxed out 4 stars, but that just means that they're probably not as high signature level. But they're very close. And this, if you were using 3 stars, this is what you would be going up against. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do this fight. We're going to get to win streak 20. And then I can pretty much just use my maxed out 4 stars from here on out safely. Now, that's rank 5, level 50. I could use some rank 4 stars after that safely for a little while, but I don't want to go into my rank 4 and definitely not into my rank 3 4 stars because the PI levels start to drop. And the PI levels of these opponents, these numbers right here, they're not really going to drop at all. And at some point, it is going to be safe for us to use our maxed out ranked up 3-star champions because they are equivalent PIs to what this is. They're going to be more or less equal, but remember what I said, that the arena boosts are more common for 3 stars than they are for 4 stars, which means you're going to get more points. I'm still getting like 12 to 16,000 points out of each one of these 4 stars, which is not optimal. Whereas with the 3 stars, the maxed out 3 stars, which are going to be around 4 to 6,000, which is in this range that these are right here. So I'll be fighting pretty much on an equal ground. I'll be getting 20,000 points out of those with those times 3 multipliers, which are very easy to get and they're very common. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and do a few fights, and then we'll show a 3-star matchup when we get into the win streak of 20s, which basically at this point we are in the infinite streak here. This is win streak number 19. It's match number 20. Okay, we are at win streak 22, and we've switched over to 3 stars. So I've got these 3 maxed out 3 stars. So these guys are all rank 4 3 stars. They're all awakened. They're all max sig, and we've got 3 choices now. They all say hard, and they are opponent accounts. So we're going to take the first one that's got the Dr. Doom. They show us the Dr. Doom. Doom is a 2,500, and the max team rating is 7,500. So you can see right there, 7,500, 2,500. So I'm going to assume that each one of these is about a 2,500, which is equivalent to this. Now, if we had done this earlier before win streak 20, so sometime in the teens, this number would have been in the 6,000s, and that would have been a very, very, very difficult fight for us to do. But this is more manageable. It says hard, and this has to do with the AI that is going up against us. So the AI is going to be more aggressive. It doesn't necessarily have anything to do with these, but it does have to do with the AI. So let's go ahead and let's do this fight here, and we'll show you right here. So we've got a 24, a 24, and a 25. So if we move these around a little bit here, we can get some advantage. So now we're higher than the Hulk, much. We're higher than Jack-o'-lantern by quite a bit, and then we're more or less equivalent to Doom. We're equal. So let's go ahead and accept this. We're going to do this fight, and I also just want to kind of show how fast these fights should go. We're going to go boom, boom, boom. Good. Good. 2, 3, 4. And we've got, okay. And he should melt at this point, and we're just going to let him melt. Okay, so that was a 17-second fight. So that's about average. It should be around 15 seconds or so. Some of the champions take a little bit longer to use depending on their kits and how much they crit. So we're going to hit this guy here like that, and he's going to cower up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we are unblockable. And that was probably faster than 17 seconds. You want, without the express mode, so that was 15 seconds. Without the express mode, it's probably about 1.5 to 2 minutes to go through each one of these fights. So he's immune to all this stuff. So this fight's going to take a little bit longer because I've got a champion that's immune to all of my things. He's not immune to that. All right. So we're going to go ahead and use that. We're going to let him melt out a little bit. All right. And that's not going to take him out, but it's going to make him melt. So he's going to melt out. Okay, there he goes. And that was a 34-second fight. So that's a long fight. But these are 3 stars. And again, I had ×3 multipliers on each one of them. So you can see each one was giving me about 20,000 points. And in this video now, we have gotten 1,000,000 points. So we are going to be at milestone number 8. Just out of this video alone, we've gotten through almost half of the arena by using maxed out 3 stars and maxed out 4 stars. So what I'm going to do now is instead of using these 3 stars, but I just wanted to highlight the 3 stars, what I'm going to do is we're going to go back and we're going to use our 4 stars. And I'm going to go through my 4-star roster all the way down here until I get, and you can see this little icon here means that they can be ascended, essentially meaning they're maxed out. And I'm going to go through my 4-star roster all the way down to Wolverine. Wolverine is the lowest PI champion in the game, unfortunately. And so that is the moniker I know to stop at. And then once I get to here, I'm going to switch back over to 3 stars using as many multipliers as I can to get this number up as much as I can. All right. That is the video I have for everybody today. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I will catch everybody later.